Today we're diving deep into one of the most incredible survival stories ever told. Imagine being so tough that you could survive something that killed off the T-Rex, the Velociraptor, and pretty much every other cool dinosaur you can think of. Well, that's exactly what our scaly friends, the crocodiles, managed to pull off. Picture this: Earth 66 million years ago. Life was thriving. Dinosaurs ruled the land, giant flying reptiles owned the skies, and massive marine reptiles dominated the oceans. Everything was going great until it wasn't. Enter the villain of our story, a massive space rock hurtling towards Earth at over 45,000 miles per hour. This wasn't just any ordinary meteor. We're talking about a chunk of space debris roughly the size of Mount Everest. Can you even imagine something that big? If you stacked 40 Empire State Buildings on top of each other, you still wouldn't reach the height of this cosmic beast. When this giant space rock slammed into what's now the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico, it created an explosion so powerful that it made our strongest nuclear bomb look like tiny firecrackers. The impact was so intense that it literally sent chunks of Earth flying into space. Some scientists think that pieces of our planet actually landed on Mars. Talk about an out-of-this-world special delivery. But that was just the beginning. The impact created a chain reaction of disasters that would make any apocalyptic movie look like a kid's birthday party. Let me break it down for you. First, we had tsunamis taller than the highest skyscrapers racing across the oceans. Imagine a wall of water as tall as 3 statues of Liberty stacked on top of each other. These megawaves swept across entire continents, destroying everything in their path. Then came the heat pulse, a blast of thermal radiation so intense that it literally cooked anything exposed to the sky. The temperature briefly shot up to thousands of degrees, turning the atmosphere into basically a giant oven. Not exactly beach weather, right? The impact threw so much dust and debris into the atmosphere that it blocked out the sun. We're not talking about a cloudy day here. Imagine months or even years of darkness. It was like someone hit the dimmer switch on the entire planet and turned it way, way down. And that's when things got really bad. Without sunlight, plants couldn't photosynthesize. No plants meant no food for plant-eating dinosaurs. No plant-eating dinosaurs meant no food for meat-eating dinosaurs. It was like pulling the bottom block out of nature's Jenga tower. Everything just came crashing down. So with all this chaos going on, how did our crocodilian friends make it through? Well, get ready because this is where it gets really fascinating. First off, let's talk about what makes crocodiles absolute survival machines. These guys are like the Swiss Army knives of the animal kingdom. They've got tools for every situation. Let me show you what I mean. Their amazing body system works like having a super advanced power saving mode that's way better than your phone's. While dinosaurs needed to eat regularly to keep their high-powered bodies running, crocs could go into energy saver mode and wait out the tough times. And when I say they can wait out tough times, I mean really wait them out. Modern crocodiles can go up to a year without eating. That's like going through all 4 seasons without a single snack. Imagine telling a T-Rex it had to skip lunch for a year. It wouldn't stand a chance. But their survival superpowers don't stop there. Let's talk about their amazing adaptability. These guys are like the ultimate all-terrain vehicles of the animal kingdom. Rivers? No problem. Swamps? They love it. Coastlines? Sure thing. They can even handle salt water for extended periods. It's like they've got an all-access pass to every water body on Earth. And here's something that'll blow your mind. Their body design is so perfect that it hasn't needed any major upgrades in over 200 million years. While other animals were going through makeover after makeover trying to keep up with Earth's changes, crocodiles were just chilling like, nah, we're good. They're living proof that sometimes you nail it on the first try. But let's get into some really cool science stuff. Crocodiles have something called resistance adaptations. These are features that help them handle extreme conditions. Their scales aren't just for show. They're like a built-in armor that protects them from injury, infection, and even helps them regulate their temperature. Speaking of temperature regulation, crocodiles are absolute masters at it. They can adjust their body temperature by moving between sun and shade or between water and land. It's like having a natural thermostat that doesn't need electricity. During the post-asteroid apocalypse, this ability was literally a lifesaver. Remember that massive dust cloud that blocked out the sun? While most animals were struggling with the changing temperatures, crocodiles had another ace up their sleeve. They could stay underwater for extended periods. The water acted like a buffer, protecting them from the extreme temperature swings happening on land. And here's something wild. Their incredible lung capacity allowed them to stay underwater for hours at a time. Modern crocodiles can hold their breath for up to 2 hours when resting. That's like watching Titanic from start to finish, underwater. And their eyes? They've got this special transparent eyelid that works like underwater sunglasses. Talk about being prepared for anything. You know how we humans get all disoriented underwater? Not crocodiles. They've got these tiny pressure sensors all over their faces. Think of them like nature's GPS system. These sensors are so sensitive they can detect the tiniest ripple in the water. That means even in the pitch-black waters during the extinction event, they could still hunt and navigate like pros. And speaking of hunting, let's talk about those infamous jaws. A crocodile's bite force is absolutely insane. We're talking about pressure that's stronger than the weight of a small car concentrated into a single chomp. But here's the really wild part. They almost never use all that power. They're actually pretty energy efficient, using just enough force to grab and hold their prey. But perhaps one of their most impressive survival tricks was their eating habits. Crocodiles are what we call opportunistic feeders, fancy science talk for they'll eat pretty much anything they can get their jaws on. During the extinction event, this was super important because they couldn't afford to be picky. Think about it like this. Imagine you're at a buffet where most of the food is gone. If you only eat pizza, you're in trouble. But if you're willing to eat whatever's available, that's basically what crocodiles do. They could eat fish, turtles, dead animals, even rotting vegetation if they had to. Talk about having a strong stomach. Their stomach acid is so powerful it can break down things that would give other animals serious indigestion. During the extinction event, this was like having a superpower. When food was scarce, they could get nutrients from parts of dead animals that nothing else could digest. But what's really mind-blowing is their circulatory system. These guys can actually direct blood flow to different parts of their body. Imagine being able to tell your blood, hey, let's skip the stomach for now. We need more power in the muscles. That's exactly what crocodiles can do. This ability helped them survive in waters that became too cold for most other reptiles during the dark years after the asteroid hit. And get this. Scientists have discovered that crocodiles might have actually benefited from the mass extinction in some ways. With all the big dinosaur predators gone, they had less competition for food and territory. It's like being the only person who shows up to an all-you-can-eat buffet. Here's something that'll make your jaw drop. Some prehistoric crocodiles were absolute units. We're talking about Deinosuchus, a croc so massive it could take down dinosaurs. While these supersized cousins didn't make it through the extinction, their smaller, more adaptable relatives did. Sometimes being bigger isn't always better. Speaking of prehistoric crocodiles, let me blow your mind with some more ancient cousins. Ever heard of Coprocicus? This guy was nicknamed the boar croc because it had tusks like a wild boar and could actually gallop on land. Yeah, you heard that right, a galloping crocodile. Then there was Thalassosuchus, a fully marine croc with flippers instead of legs. These guys show us just how versatile the crocodile family tree really is. But perhaps the most incredible thing about prehistoric crocodiles was their diversity. We found fossils of herbivorous crocodiles that lived on land and ate plants, armored crocodiles built like tanks, and even tiny crocodiles no bigger than a house cat. It's like nature was experimenting with different croc designs before settling on the perfect model we see today. But you know what's really incredible? The crocodiles we see today are practically identical to their ancestors from 66 million years ago. They found a winning formula and stuck to it. While mammals were evolving into everything from tiny mice to giant whales, crocodiles were just like, nah, we're perfect as we are. When you think about it, crocodiles teach us an amazing lesson. Sometimes the key to survival isn't about being the biggest, strongest, or fastest. Sometimes it's about being tough, adaptable, and patient. They're like the ultimate marathon runners of evolution. Slow and steady really does win the race. So next time you see a crocodile, whether it's at a zoo or in a nature documentary, remember, you're looking at one of the greatest survival stories in Earth's history. These incredible animals aren't just ancient, they're living proof that sometimes the best strategy is to find what works and stick with it. Oh, and here's something mind-blowing. Scientists recently discovered that crocodiles might be even smarter than we thought. They've been observed using tools, working together to hunt, and even playing. Makes you wonder what other secrets these ancient survivors are hiding, right? If you enjoyed this incredible survival story, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We're diving into more fascinating scenarios in upcoming videos. Until next time, stay safe. Peace!